I'm from here.
It's a small town that sits along the Mississippi River. I was just a journalist, fed up with friends and relatives back home, telling me that another black man in Alton had died.
Gifted men, monumental dads, mentors and civic leaders, business owners who hire from their community.
To see a teenage death.
I often wonder what he would have been had he lived.
You certainly don't expect to lose your best friend to gun violence.
Back in the 80s, there were several permanent black men that were dying off the scene, and they started getting sick and passing away, and I believe that they were murdered.
I hear mothers crying for their children.
There's been talk that there's like a dark cloud over Alton.
We're burying our kings way too soon.
What's killing black men is the same as what's killing black men across the country. Alton has its share of it, and one of them is violence. The other is a lifestyle that is not conducive to a living longevity.
The widow's breakfast has been going on for better than 20 years that allowed them to come together and talk about their resolutions. We just simply support them.
I became a widow at age 50, very suddenly. I'm lonely without my husband, but the presence of the Lord.
Essex was in excellent health, so we thought. And he was on the racquetball court, and he started feeling nauseated. They did the bypass surgery, double bypass, and by the time I got back to the hospital, his heart had stopped. In most cases, people are ill prepared for the absence of that income. And depending on what age you are when you lose your husband, there's nothing for you.
Many things have changed in the past 10, 20 years, and a lot of people come to town and don't even recognize the place.
Alton is dying. It's a community in decay.
I remember you could get up in the morning when the factory was here and go to work and get fired, and that afternoon you had no job.
Billy had been about 30 years in construction, but at that particular time, before he passed away, he was the only black minority contractor in the city of Alton.
I was with Billy that day. Billy had a heart attack. Billy was a very charismatic man, but his anniversary's coming up. He died right after Thanksgiving.
Billy and Michael was 2 weeks apart. Kenny and Billy was 2 months apart. And Roy and Kenny was 2 weeks apart.
Wow. So 4 Masonic brothers were wiped out in a matter of 3 months. It sounded like 3 or 4 months.
Yes.
I am concerned about the loss of these black men, and he was one that would teach young men how to drive the equipment, how to operate the equipment, give them jobs. Here in Alton, we don't have anybody to keep those young men working and keep them off the street.
Nancy Clark and her only child, Jarvis, were my sister's in-laws.
And this is Jarvis when he was a baby. And there he is playing football. And then his son, Brandon Clark, he didn't ever get to meet his father. Jarvis got killed February 15th of 94. He was born June 10th of 94. Brandon.
How old is he now? So he's 21 years old?
He's 21. And he having it hard. He go to the cemetery every day. I try to get him not to go as much. But like I told him, his daddy is in his heart.
He was in his truck, and they robbed him, but they shot him close range. They said that they watched Jarvis for several weeks.
He was a good kid. It's just totally unfortunate that what happened did happen, and especially since it was one of his cousins who was killed him. They was jealous over Jarvis.
He and my mother came to my room and they woke me up and they said, there's been an accident. And of course my mind is like, what accident? I'm thinking of a car accident. And they said, Jarvis has been killed. And I said, stop lying, quit playing with me. And I started crying. And I just couldn't understand what happened. I just couldn't understand why somebody would want to take Jarvis' life.
So this is where you live?
This is Jarvis' room. Jarvis was a basketball player. He always buy me cheeseburger. He tell me, Mama, keep them, because one day they'll be rich. You'll be rich.
Yeah, he had 3 days to go in the Navy. He was going in the engineer. He said, Mama, men's come and go, but I will never leave you. It's going to always be me and you. So make sure you buy a house with a basement, because I'm going to live in the basement.
Welcome to the Miles Davis sculpture unveiling.
Miles Davis was born here. But his legacy meant nothing at Alton until now. The memorial to him serves as a memorial for many. Bricks around the statue are engraved with their names.
Darkness you will find it's just